Hello, Leo, and we have a lion in training over here joining us. Welcome to your reading for Aquarius transition. Aquarius is the opposite sign to yours. So this is usually the time, January 22nd to February 19th, where you feel tired, when you feel, most of you are saying, oh, it's a freaking winter, I hate winter. No, you're just simply tired because of Aquarian transit, right? So it's going to be real interesting. So I was just letting these cards kind of like cool off from my previous reading and clear. So let's check Leo for the transit January and February and see what we can learn from there. And Sapphie, what do you think about my lions? What do you think about that? Hi, Sapphie. Okay, you have a flicking thing. Ten of Sky. Ten of Sky is the kitty that has lost everything. And now he's going to lose the very last life he has. But it's a 10, it's not 9, which means I have to leave the previous attitudes. I have to leave everything that I thought I would acquire and have. It's almost like when we have all these dreams as, kids, and then we grow up and then we have to come to the planet Earth and actually get a job and not to be a rock star. So Sapphie has left the building, so I guess we can do it this way, or maybe even better this way. So let's see what is for my Leos, what is in the store for my Leos for this transition. Let's see what is in the store for my Leos. 10, 10, 10, and 10, 10, 10. So you have grace. Some of you are maybe dealing with Sagittarius, and some of you are dealing with like something that seemingly are opposite parts of the spectrum. Then you have Five of Sky, which is to me similar to this like 10 of Sky or 10 of Swords that you got. So Five of Sky to me, it's about, and look at, we have the Priestess hiding. It's kind of like some wisdom that needs to be acquired. Look at this beautiful Sphinx cat. Oh, fun fact, did you know the Sphinx cat is actually made in Canada kind of a thing? So Sphinx cat has no fur. So in this particular deck, they're talking about different cat clans. So there is a Sky clan. And Sky are those cats that feel forgotten. They are like street cats that nobody wanted to adopt, and they had to scramble to survive. That's why they have no eyes, they have no teeth, they have no paws, and simply are basically abused cats. But also they are fierce, and the ones that have survived, they have learned, hey, we have to kind of like stick together. So anybody who to them represents, let's call it elite or something special, they are not they're not accepting of it, and they really don't know how to handle it other than attack, other than feeling that this person is representation somehow of all the pain they have been through. So this poor Sphinx kitty cat is not guilty of anything. It's just not understanding why is she or he not fitting, right? Simple, like, square peg, round hole kind of a thing. Something is going to be at odds over here. So it's to me also about winning sometimes, and sometimes it feels like this is winning at any cost. It's called Pyrrhic victory, and it's almost like winning against a game of chess against a 5-year-old. It's like, I won, and of course, who is the silly? But nonetheless, it's going to be some kind of victory, something kind of like trying to push forward. Interestingly, that I'm seeing these two things, one is up, one is down. So it's going to be some kind of like, I would say, balancing act. I really feel that you're going to try to find where you belong and who you belong with, right? So either it could be Sagittarius or it could be Cancer. If there is a Sagittarius, it's going to be kind of like coming together. It's going to feel like, okay, we can make it work. Everything might work okay. See, she's walking through it pretty kind of like steadily. She knows her elegance. It's called grace in this particular deck, this Temperance card. And there's like this beautiful rainbow like we all die for, just seeing that kind of like vision. On the other hand, over here we see this like two Great Danes, and you know, and there's like a cat that is propelled. Like, of course, she has this big dreams that this is kind of like, I can see it in this light. It should be the lion over here. Here, the head isn't going to show up. You see it here, like, wow, roaring lion. And the kitty is simply just sending the thoughts to these dogs, and they know where they need to go. Then look like this card is kind of like picking your goal and going toward it, choosing it and stepping on a pedal and really flooring it and really believing it. But guess what? It came here reversed. So what is it that you are not pursuing? Is it like maybe somebody you're not pursuing? Is there something in your life that have been really harsh words? And there's like something maybe that is keeping you away for trying something that maybe you have tried before, something that you maybe loved before. So we're going to see more now as we go. So let's lay the cards down. Let's get the initial cross. So you have Two of C reversed. That will be Two of Cups reversed. And you have Demon Cat or the Devil reversed. So this is now interesting combination. The combination here is really talking about this like full moon in Leo, which is going to take place, I believe, February 9th, if 8th or 9th, right? in the kind of like exchange. And it's maybe letting go of something that has been toxic. It's maybe letting go of someone who has been toxic. You see, it doesn't have to be necessarily a person. Like, I mean, there's like this kind of like spirit of cooperation or partnership of some sort. It could be that you're realizing, and it could be something that you are already in, or that you have been out of, that you're realizing there was like something where it could be a third party involved, where it could be alcohol involved, drugs, you know, somebody lying all the time. This is really talking about some kind of like obsessive, and even kind of harmful behavior. I'm going to see a little bit more about that. And then you have Sky Tome, which is reversed, and it could be some kind of like harshness. And I'm really picking up, like, I mean, my psychic download is like that at this stage. I really don't think that you're like really enthused with any arguments. I don't think that you shy away from arguments, but at this stage it almost looks like that you're putting peace on pedestal. So let's see what you're leaving from behind. Yeah, Five of C. You're leaving behind people who left you behind. And I know it sounds like a little counterproductive. Well, you're not leaving me, I'm leaving you kind of a thing. But that's exactly what's going to happen. It is about something that your pride really took a hit on this, I would say. And this is really not a good thing. Remember the Chariot that we had reversed? I'm seeing it here as well. It was like something that possibly you had a kind of hopes for somebody of some sort, but like, I mean, there was like some kind of exchange. The Sky Tome is not necessarily like, this is like a King of Swords, pardon me, a Knight of Swords. A Knight of Swords doesn't necessarily have everything kind of like baked. It's not entirely baked. And people say, well, you know, he doesn't really know where he's heading, because look at this. He's like chasing this bird, but he doesn't realize he's going to flop down flat. In this particular case, it means that somebody kind of like doesn't know what they're doing, but they want to be mean. And I really think this is like a puzzle that you are trying to understand. It almost like feels like that you felt really enmeshed into some kind of like cooperation, and there was like some kind of harshness associated with it, where you kind of like felt you have lost face, and it's just kind of like maybe you felt second best. Maybe you felt, you know, like I'm a third wheel over here. Maybe you felt like it, well, you know, I really want to make it work, but nothing I did would make it work. So what is crowning you is another Five of Earth. So you have fives. 5 and 5. So there's like something, you're like so freaking tired of being left behind. You're so tired of maybe not having enough self-esteem, or dreaming about having something that somebody else has. I don't know if I can zoom it in here, but this picture is really kind of like telling a story if this camera wants to collaborate. And you see it here. I don't know if you can see the two kitty cats over here are snuggling together. They have food, they have fireplace. It must look beautiful from the outside. So of course we well, you're going to probably clue me in on the word, how to pronounce it. But you know what? This is how much snow we have in Toronto right now. And I have to tell you that my doggo loves to be in there. And as soon as it warms up a little bit, because right now it's like really cold, -14 at Celsius, not Fahrenheit. That would be like, I would say 10 Fahrenheit. So one thing that most people miss when they realize this card is that there is like a freedom in this. And there is like also adventure in this. But this is reversed, which is really telling me you kind of are leaving certain things behind. And you're leaving them almost like you guys are a relationship sign. Everything for you is collaboration. You really want to deal with this. But you are kind of like putting things behind you in a really way that almost like makes you feel hopeful, that you're going and walking in your direction, and you're hoping to sing a completely different song, right? It's kind of like you're saying this was then and this is going to be there, which is very, very healthy. Most people carry this baggage, right, and carry a suitcase or a rucksack, wherever it is, and continuously with them, and every new relationship it's kind of like measured up against this, you know what, and then the list gets longer and longer and longer. It almost looks to me over here, guys, it's a clean cut, off you go, and wish you well, and I don't want to participate in this anymore, but you can do whatever you want. Did I not say it? Off I go. You fight, not me. That's what I was picking up from the very beginning, right? And we had this Five of Sky, remember in the beginning when I was telling you about the Sphinx, and there is like somebody leaving that clan, and it's saying this makes no sense. And this is like the first level of this choice, first level of kind of like self-connection and self-understanding, that you're saying, you know what, maybe this is not right for me. And 6 are also cards of victory. 6 are cards of that really deep self-understanding. So where is victory? It's not victory, it's like, I'll show you. Not that kind of victory. It is the victory where you win against yourself. And that is really, really powerful, because you're setting new goals. You're kind of like going in new directions. And then we have a Sky Kitten. So we have a Sky Dog, we have Sky Kitten. You're going to feel lots of Aquarian energy during this transition. And it's almost going to rub on you. Like, I mean, you have to understand that Leos and Aquarians are the same axis. It's a day and night. They coexist. You know, like, I mean, in Egypt, like, I mean, it was always this, like, the day would kill the night. And I think one was Seth. For the life of me, I cannot think of the other one. Ra was the sun, was it? Like, they kill each other like at the end of the process. So it kind of like continued the process, and nobody is really ever a winner. But this is literally talking about us, that light and dark. We continuously have that kind of like game ball. So you're being a little bit harsh on yourself, guys. Sky Kitten reversed, it's like playfulness. It's also saying things that maybe you should be not saying. You know, honesty is the best policy. Is it? Is it? It is. Absolutely. I agree with that. But also it has to have a huge amount of diplomacy. Well, I probably as Aquarius shouldn't be telling you Leos about it, because that's what it is, right? So it is really, really important over here to know that sometimes, and I really think this is self-oriented over here, that you're saying to yourself certain things that could be even hurtful. I really think that you, and that would be my advice, might need a little bit more positivity this month. And there is like a Lovers, there is like this 6 that's happening, and this is like something. So this is like dark and this is a light. I was just talking about it, and it's just like coming turned up. So it could be that there are memories of love, that you're going through this, that something is happening, that you're dealing with some kind of issues. I mean, the Devil is reversed. So it's kind of like understanding this is not healthy for me. I don't really want to do that. But maybe like the same person is still coming through. either directly or indirectly. What I mean with this is, I do see words. I do see some kind of exchange. But I also see that you are going through that emotional cleanse. And when we go through emotional cleanse, you literally have to wash off the dirt. So you see the dirt moving forward. So that means that you might be just simply reminding yourself of what has been and what you don't want, and in which direction you really want to move forward to. So your hopes and fears is 6 of Earth. So now we have like 5s, and now we have 6s. So we have 6 and 6 and 6. 6, 6, 6. No, it's not the devil sign. 3 6s are actually karmic soulmate. They're like something entering over here in life. I really like this. This card is usually about balance. You want this balance. You want this comfort. I don't know if you can see it here. This kitty cat allowed mother and her kittens to come and feast and say, just come on, it's enough for everybody. And not only are they getting the food, but she's getting a lick on top of her head. What a feast. And not to mention that, nice little soft approach. So this is really, really talking about how life can be beautiful, how we really need to hope for it. And children can be literal children, that somebody is going to really accept us. Because this is in hopes and fears, basically you're reading both sides of the card. While there is like this wish and hope, and there is like this beauty in that maybe, somebody is going to be there for you, or that you can help somebody, that you're in the position of helping somebody. You also have to measure this to how far you really want to go in this. And this is based on the past. Clearly, guys, there's like somebody possibly entering your life who is karmic. You're like almost like cutting off some karmic ties in order for letting somebody else in. But somebody else is still sitting on the fence over here. I do have to tell you. The Lover's card is reversed. And it is actually really good they're sitting on the fence, because it almost looks like that right now you going kind of like, let's say, full speed ahead would not be kind of like really well thought out. You actually have 4 6s, like when I really look at it. So it's really something that you are shedding. You need to kind of have words, and those words are not necessarily going to come out right. So it's going to be the words that you might actually write in your diary. You might be speaking them up with your friend or with somebody else. You simply, and this also card to me sometimes really, really brings exes out. And somebody is really coming back in your life. And you, as I said, it could be like literally, or it could be metaphorically. This also can talk about a new person coming in your life and trying to woo you. This person is highly seductive. This person is going to pull every little card from the deck, right? Like if you're if you're looking after, let's say, man coming in your life, he's going to be attractive and Mr. Wonderful, and he's going to have a steady job, and he just looks for you. And then you realize this was just seduction. Actually, most of it is not right. He still lives in mommy's basement, and while he's being successful is not your definition of success, and so on and so forth. If you're a guy, it could be a woman who will be doing anything possible, like with sending you, this is usually connecting to sending a whole bunch of pictures that are highly seductive. And what they will not realize is that you have your shit detector on, and pardon my language, right? And it's going to go through filter because you've been through it. You have actually gone through that lesson. And almost like maybe you're going to swear to yourself and saying, are you kidding me? I've been there. It's just like that's maybe what I'm warning you. Don't necessarily tell it. That's where the truth is not needed. This is really needed for you to get it, to really get it. Because you need to learn this lesson before this turns around. because look at this yin and yang. This is literally all the sixes are kind of like really joined together. They're all telling a story, right? To some extent, bigger on the other. So you need to understand that, you know, certain things can be more productive when you feel free, when you feel released from the system. Then you have a karma card, Ace of Sky, but it's reversed, and it is Ace of Swords. So the truth hasn't been told, guys. So I just did one reading before you, Aquarius, and I didn't do any clarifications with them because it was not needed. But here I really have to do certain things. So let me check. I want to check this demon cat, because you guys are really dealing with something this month. As I said, we're going to have you work on the reservoir of your energy. You'll be wondering if you're going to come to your next station, and usually when you're cranky, you say things or do things that you regret later, or you know, somebody else might say this by reading your tiredness as a rejection. I can see that things happening over here this month. Okay, so let's see this devil and this like two of sea. What is hiding over there? Well, we see the Lord, we see melody, and we see sorrow. Except with my astigmatism, I was reading Survivor. So Lord is somebody married, so it goes back to, yeah, I said a third party, you know. Maybe you're waiting for somebody. Maybe, you know, this to me card generally really talks about depression. Lord is somebody well established. Lord is somebody who kind of like, it can be benefactor of some sort, and it looks like you're missing somebody or something, because this can also refer to a concept, because you guys are such a relationship is sign, and when the two I mean, these two cards rarely come together, rarely, and they did come together, and freaking fortunately they're both reversed. So which is telling me you are brewing something. Something is brewing, but you're not turning the notch up because you can't. There are like certain things that need to be said or spoken, and you want to go forward with the truth, but still remember how I said, beware about the truth. Truth is good, but how you say it, and in the end the truth will not be told. But it's again, it's going to be that fine line. You need to tell the truth without jeopardizing who you are, without jeopardizing your integrity, right? So sorrow is about, you know, look at her, she has a letter. It's kind of understanding. It almost looks like maybe you're dealing with somebody who was unavailable, and that cost you lots in time and patience, and maybe ultimately there was a sadness. If you guys are dealing with somebody who maybe has somebody on the side, let them go. That's all I'm going to say. It's the best for you, because it's going to cost you so much and you might regret this. Look at that. We have Lord, which is one of the kind of like male significators. And now we have Lover, Foe, and Scholar. And this is like environment. This is kind of like giving me some more explanation for the Lover's card over here that is reversed. So is it a friend? Is it a foe? Right? It's kind of like I'm looking at that over here. So it could be there's like somebody here, but there's like somebody who is maybe preferring to be bookish, to prefer to kind of like, maybe there's like somebody of knowledge. Scholar clearly talks about it. Somebody is okay with who they are, where they are, and it could be also a three-party situation over here, which lovers also sometimes can denote. So maybe you want to go after someone, and that someone is still having something like unfinished, or that somebody is not ready for a relationship because they're currently in a different space. So it's again, you see, almost like it tells me right now, maybe you'll be rushing things, or somebody else might be rushing things, and it cannot be done. It has to be down. It has to be down with both people at the same time. And very, very important to note over here is about fighting, and that fighting has to be really clean. And it's more going to be about fighting than about telling truth. You know how it is? Like, I mean, you tell truth to each other for first minute and the next 2 hours you fight. So that's kind of like something you really need to avoid. And look at this. We see the letter, we see faithfulness, and then we see reunion. But it's on reversed, Ace of Swords. So somebody wants to be back with you guys. Maybe you want to be back with someone. I can see this like big need over here. It's going to be some communication. It's going to be some discussion for some of you. How do I go about that? I don't know. Or it can be real literal. Maybe you just have a dog and maybe you're communicating with someone. And, you know, reunion to me means, and especially I really like that she has this gold dress. You see, the gold dress was here in the sorrow, but now she's kind of like saying, okay, I gave you a next chance. But don't go there unless you have discussed why you broke up in the first place. Who let somebody in the cold? Who embarrassed who? You know, it's kind of like so easy when we reunite with people and then we completely forget the essence of, well, you know, I kind of like am here without you for a reason. And all of these sad nights and sad circumstances shouldn't be just erased and just, oh, let's embrace each other. And again, I'm Aquarius, you're Leo. You might be dealing with these things completely in a different way. But I would just tell you, be careful. Be careful, because you're going to figure out that maybe you have outlived certain situation and certain person. And you're going to also understand that you have certain pangs of desire toward this person, because that's what happens when you have the demon showing up. They make you want them. They come to you in dreams, and you know this is not good for me, but you still eat that big chocolate cake kind of at things. So don't eat that chocolate cake. This is going to be kind of a slow month, but in this month you'll be doing lots of thinking, and looks like there are lots of people coming through your life, and you're doing lots of positioning in how to go and where to go. So guys, it's a karmic month. You're shedding something and you're opening the door to something else. It is clearly a potential of somebody new coming through. You see the people, but it might be that you are not ready. And you're not ready because you need to really figure out how to find that supportive environment where you feel that these people will have your back, that people will be there, or a person for you when you need it. You want a friend, you don't want an enemy, and this is really, really clear over here. Maybe you need to figure out through the process of maybe elimination how certain things would happen. So it's going to be really interesting to hear from you guys. This is enough for me. It was supposed to be a 10-minute reading. It's hell. It's like so much longer, and I just cannot talk that well still. So until the next time, guys, as I said, please consider subscribing. If you want a reading with me, cattarot.ca, and all this information is down in the description. I also finished all my annuals. Consider ordering annuals as well. And guys, you know, if and I gave this offer to Aquarius that I read before you, because we're in the year number 4. Numerologically, this is a year which is going to be kind of like turbulent, because we need to get solid by the end of it when we are done with this. If you do not know which number you are numerologically, or in which personal year is yours that combines with number 4, just write to me, and just you need to send me your birth date, and I'm going to send you both your personal year and your numerological number free of charge. Okay, so my email is down in the description, mysticcattara@gmail.com. And until the next time, namaste. I love you guys. This is going to be a month that you have to roll up your sleeves and just go through it. You're going to be so much better by the end of it. I love you. All the best.